Oh man, there is some wild stuff going on over at Ironmace between this Ironmace and Nexon thing. I don't even know where to start. I guess we'll start with the YouTube video. So not too long ago, this YouTuber by the name of Kira, and I would encourage you all to go and check this video out, ended up getting a translated forum post that was made anonymously by a current Nexon employee that did work, confirmed at least as far as he's concerned. You know, for the statement, it's been corroborated, I guess, by a couple of different people. But according to them, there was an anonymous post made by a P3 member that says that internally, the person who is, I guess, SDF that works for Ironmace Games, the creative director of Ironmace Games, who's Dark and Darker is basically his baby, his brainchild, was also the director of the boss in charge of a team of 20 people that worked at Nexon that tried to internally recruit people at Nexon that were working with him on this project, P3, to leave with him and work on his game instead of having the media conglomerate of Nexon breathing down SDF's neck, telling him how he was supposed to build this game, even going so far as to call people in the middle of the night to see if they wanted to leave with him. When Nexon got wind of this, they did an internal audit and found that in the first quarter of 2021, but not the second quarter of 2021, SDF had been transferring files back and forth on a server at his home, which included a whole bunch of files about this game. In the latter 3 months, in Q2, prior to him being fired, there was like a work from home protocol that was established by the folks at Nexon that everybody ended up kind of adhering to and then sending data back and forth using like the approved method. Now, whether or not since that audit occurred or whatever, SDF had deleted all the files, all of that has to come out in the wash in a criminal court proceeding in Korea. I would prefer innocent until proven guilty be the case here, but I digress. That's not the point. What Nexon has always claimed is that the people that were working internally at Nexon and SDF who had stolen these files, when he was fired, ended up recruiting people from the outside and got 9 other devs to leave with him, which crippled the project, and they were forced to have to cancel the project in September of 2021. However, according to this person internally, he says that the project was canceled in July of 2021 because when SDF was fired, 9 other people basically walked out the door with him. But prior to them quitting, the reason why they quit was because they wanted to keep working on Project P3. Nexon determined that the project couldn't continue because of not only the data breach, but also because they fired the guy whose idea this whole project was and started moving people to other projects in addition to confiscating all of the information, all of the work terminals that they had provided to each one of the devs. So because those, I guess in this case, 9 devs didn't want to not work on this type of a project, they left and went with SDF to work on this game at Ironmace. And a couple months later, Ironmace Games was established. Now, those two things kind of matter in terms of motivation, because Nexon has always said the project falling apart was a result of people leaving, not the other way around. Nexon canceled the project and people left because the project got canceled is a completely different motivational reason. And whether or not that ends up having any bearing in court, I have no idea. I just thought that the narrative change was interesting. Now, again, that narrative of the project dying and then people leaving to go with SDF is something coming from someone that still works at Nexon for Nexon in a different project established by Nexon, who also can't stand the fact that Ironmace Games took this idea and decided to make it on their own, by the way. He's appalled, actually, and pissed off that they would have done such a thing, but I digress. And as if all of that isn't dramatic enough for you, there's another part to this. Not too long ago, maybe 15 minutes ago, this guy, Lucy, ended up making a post asking for people to contribute to a legal fund, citing that in Nexon's most recent copy and paste MMO, they literally named the tutorial boss leader of Silver Sun, Terrence, which is a reference to Iron Mace, because the ball and star looks like a silver sun, and Terrence being the CEO of Ironmace, kind of a dig. The tutorial boss being named after Terrence. Yeah, yikes. So regardless of where you sit on that, he then went on to request that people contribute to a legal fund. However, then a bunch of the mod team over on the Discord side of things ended up deleting that post and then saying, please don't contribute to that GoFundMe link because we don't know if the guy that wrote it is actually Lucy or if Lucy got hacked. And again, they're 11 hours ahead in Korea, which means that this was posted at like 5:30 in the morning. Then Terrence got out of bed, validated that the post was actually written by Lucy and that Lucy was like of sound mind and body when he made it, but it turns out Lucy wasn't approved to make that post, so they took the post down. When I had checked the GoFundMe link before they had taken the GoFundMe link down, it had been up to $40,000. But not to worry, everybody that contributed to the legal fund gets their money back. GoFundMe has a big refund policy for stuff like this, so I guess they jumped the shark a little bit because of frustrations. I can understand being frustrated, but you still got to go through the proper channels. That being said, I still think that Ironmace probably should be seeking legal money here, because if they can't find an angel investor to basically throw a bunch of cash at them for the purpose of defending themselves in court, Nexon's got a ton of cash and they will absolutely drag this thing through and try to bleed them dry. That part, I think we all can agree on. Right, wrong, indifferent, doesn't matter whether they stole assets or they stole the process, none of that matters. The thing that is true, that we think we all can agree on, like I said, is that Nexon has enough money to be able to drag this thing on forever. Apparently, the GoFundMe is something that the Ironmace devs are considering. They're looking at potentially having that be a thing that people can do if they want to, but they're not in a position yet where they're ready to ask people for that kind of stuff. My guess is they're probably trying to exhaust every other thing that they could, I guess, make work before they try to look for legal defense funds from the community. Obviously, I will try to keep you guys informed whenever and if they end up putting that GoFundMe link up. And obviously, you guys are all adults. You can make your own decisions insofar as whether you want to help them or not. I'll probably end up throwing money into the kitty, if only because I just want to know the truth. And I think everybody else can agree with me on that. Anyway, guys, that's the story, at least for the moment. If you want more news and updates surrounding this story, I'm definitely going to keep posting them. Please consider subbing the channel here. It really does matter. As always, I stream every day from, 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until whenever. In the meantime, I guess I'll see you in the next one. Peace.